Welcome back to another game review. In today's video, we'll be seeing if Itty Bitty Railway is worth the 35 robux it costs. If you guys want me to review a game, just comment that game below and I'll check it out. You can also subscribe to never miss when I do a community poll, asking you guys to vote on the game you want me to review. Without further ado, let's jump right into the review. Straight away, we are asked to name our train station. Let's call our station Shade Station. Then we get a tutorial, which is pretty clear and precise. It teaches the basics of creating tracks and stations pretty well, and I learned a lot. Nice and simple. This game has a lot of train models, which I'm sure a lot of you would enjoy. I'm gonna pick the CE800. I placed a tree down and the tutorial was complete. In my Station Master video, one of you commented this, asking me to build Liverpool Lime Street, a train station in England. And I must say, this seems pretty simple to build. However, let's see if we have the resources in the game to build this. Let's go ahead and delete everything and begin on the layout of the train station. I used pictures from Google to help me start the building process, as I haven't actually been to Liverpool Lime Street myself in real life. However, when I used Google Earth, I had a better perspective on what Liverpool Lime Street actually looks like. So I decided to delete everything and start everything from scratch. Let's restart this by creating the correct road pattern. Unfortunately, you cannot place roads that freely in this game, so I had to make do with what I had. Now that we have the roads placed down, we can finally begin on the actual train station. Let's start with the entrance. The architecture of the whole station is beautiful. I hope to recreate the station in this game. So far, our progress is going fairly well. I like how this project is turning out. While trying to place this ramp, I realized that you cannot place a ramp on an elevated part. Even if I try to place something under the ramp, it just can't be elevated. Because of this, I just had to resort to using a stair with a ramp. Then I proceeded to create this little green area at the side. The game doesn't contain much decoration, so once again, I had to make do with what I had. See? It doesn't look too shabby. Now let's begin on the foundation of our station. But before that, I redeemed some codes that gave me some coins and a special train. I then started placing some doors to make it look like the actual entrance of Liverpool Lime Street. I'm just going to skip ahead to when I finish building the actual exterior of the station. Alright, I think I have made a fairly good recreation of the Liverpool Lime Street station entrance. Unfortunately, I ran out of money, so I decided to delete some of the floor to create another train station in order to actually make money. In this game, the way you make money is by creating two stations, with a track connecting them. Then you have to select a train to transport passengers back and forth. By doing this, we earn money every time the train reaches a stop. Now that we have an actual source of income, let's AFK for a bit, then we'll continue construction on the station. I saw a YouTube video giving some building tips. I'll link it in the description down below. He said that you can use the racetrack and it acts as a line across the train platform. Very cool. However, halfway through building the rest of the station, I realized that the floor of the station was raised, which I didn't really like. So I deleted the whole floor and lowered it to ground level. Quick update, the walls of the station is now complete and I constructed all 5 stations. As you can see, I'm having a really hard time with the roof, and I'll try to make something that looks somewhat good. I'll see you guys in a bit. Alright, here it is. The grand reveal. I couldn't get the perfect round roof that's on the actual Liverpool Lime Street. So I had to use whatever the game had to offer and created this. All that's left is the decorations and the back wall. Speaking of that, let's get started on that. I used glass walls to sort of create the same effect that's on the actual station. Now let's add some of these buffer stops. In Liverpool Lime Street, the buffer stops are red, so let's make them red, shall we? In Liverpool Lime Street, there's a little board showing some directions. So let's add one right here. Now, while watching a POV video of the interior of Liverpool Lime Street, I noticed that there was a little spot for cars and taxis to come into the station and pick passengers up. So let's add that. But first, we need to shorten the platform here to make way for extra floor. I recreated the glass walls from the actual station, and then proceeded to create a hole in the wall for cars to make their way into the building. I added a road that connects to the main road and went on to add some decorations, such as extending the floor and adding some buildings that resemble the ones in real life. If you guys know me, you will know that I love terraforming. So let's try making a small mountain for the train to pass through. So far, terraforming in this game feels great, and I like that you can smooth out the blocky terrain, unlike some games. You're also able to add slopes to further smooth out your mountain, which looks great. To finish off the mountain, let's add a variety of trees. Now all we need to do is connect the train station with the other station through the mountain. Now that that's done, I think it's time to get to the rankings. I had a fantastic time with this game. For fun, I'll give it a 17 out of 20. Yes, the building in this game is fun, but I think the ability to watch from the train's perspective or some other interactive aspect will add so much to the game. But it's still a very fun game. For replayability, I'll give this game a solid 16 out of 20. There is an incredible amount of stations you can recreate in this game, but I think that the lack or limited amount of assets in the game can definitely cause you to lose interest in the game. For how easy the game is to play, I'll give it an 18 out of 20. The tutorial was short and sweet, and I think it covered the basics of the game pretty well. For graphics, this game has pretty mediocre graphics, so I'll just have to give it a simple 15 out of 20. For interfaces and GUI, I'm gonna have to give it a 14 out of 20. The buttons are small and they take a lot of time to get used to. Even while playing the game now, I'm still having trouble searching where items are. Maybe instead of putting multiple types of items in one category, there can be more categories, allowing players to search for things quicker. For example, the roads are currently under the Decorations tab, when really it should have its own tab. And so, in total, Itty Bitty Railway gets an 80 out of 100, which puts it level with Cruise Ship Simulator on the rankings. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you guys want me to review more games, leave a comment below. I'll be reading every comment. Be sure to check out my other game reviews. I'll see you in the next video.